So if you don't see eye to eye with some of the people you work for or work with or people that work for you, there's a reason for it because there's different values that are there. But it's keeping people engaged in their work, engaged in what the business is all about. It's really all about the people. You can have a tremendous organization, fantastic company, great product, great service, great process, but if you don't have good people, it makes it very challenging. I've seen companies that have lousy process, horrible process, but great people, and they overcome the challenges related to the poor process. They will bust through, they will clear through all the noise to get the job done. So I would take great people, lousy process any day versus the reverse. Business managers in the organization set the tone for how the business operates, how to challenge people, how to keep them engaged in the business. There's old school leadership, the theory X, and we talk about the theory Y. There's the old school, more command and control style leadership, and then you have the more empowering type leadership. Yeah, finding people to fill those positions is not simple, and what they're doing, many of the companies I work with, they're trying to grow from within. They're recognizing that finding talented people outside is not as easy. They're hiring for behavior rather than the actual skills. They're saying we can train them on the skills, but we need the right behavior. So, big one here, working on the business instead of in the business. It's easy to get pulled into the day-to-day. I mean, how many of you work on fires, or you're putting out fires every single day, right? And we're all pulled into the mix. We're pulled into the daily activity, the tasks, the tactical aspect. And I don't know of one manager out there, and I'm using that term generically, but whether you're a vice president, an owner, a CEO, a supervisor that isn't pulled into the day-to-day.
Like, the previous generation, a lot of them were blue-collar workers, and when they went to a job, they stayed there for life, and they're tired with a pension and all that, and now people are changing jobs, like you said, every 3 to 5 years, so even though they might be loyal at that time, they're not going to be loyal for life to that company.
In general, have we created that environment?
I think so.
Yeah. Why? What have we sort of left out?
Because the company has no loyalty to the employee either.
And the other way around.
Easily you could get laid off tomorrow.
What happens is we don't set enough boundaries, or we don't provide boundaries at all, or sometimes they're too small. The control freaks of the world create a little playing field for their employees to work in, and they crunch people down into something that doesn't work very well. Some managers don't provide enough guidance, and everybody responds differently. What we need to do is we need to set expectation correctly so people know what's expected of me. How much, when, what specific result, how much authority do I have, what are the rules I can and cannot break. And you got to figure out for each person in the organization, what does that mean to them. Earlier, they want to know they're contributing to the organization. Why are we successful as a company? How do we compete in the marketplace? What are the challenges we're facing? What challenges might we face in years to come? How can I help be part of that? Very critical, very important, especially for the new workforce that's coming through. People want to have opinions. They want to have input. If you want to drive buy-in, pull people into helping drive the organization forward, engage them, pull them in, ask them, what do you think? How would you do it? I'll share a little trick with you. You might already know what the answer is. You may already have in the back of your mind, this is the way it's going to go. But you know what you should do? Keep that in mind as you're asking your people, how should we do it? You're out there on the front line, you're making decisions every day. How many decisions do you make in a day? How many do you think? 4? 40? 400? You're making decisions every day, right? What if you could push some of that decision making away from you? Would that be helpful? Right? You become the bottleneck. So what you want to do is you want to start getting people to think for themselves, think creatively, think innovatively, start making decisions on their own, taking some more risk. How is what I do, how does it impact the organization? How am I successful? How is my group successful? It might be a cross-functional team. Today we have highly matrixed organizations where you have program managers and project managers that are responsible for very important tasks, or I should say objectives, initiatives in the organization, but nobody reports to them. Many challenges companies face have to do with trust and communication. And it's the foundation of your company. It talks about culture, it talks about people develop relationships, it's how teams function, It's how leaders work together. It's how leaders inspire their employees. Building trust with your coworkers. I don't care if it's your boss, your peers, your subordinates. Building trust with your coworkers has everything to do with how well you build relationships and how you overcome challenges, because we all bump heads with one another once in a while. Even the people you trust the most, you bang heads. The first thing I did about 2.5, 3 years ago is I did a very short coaching initiative with him because he was struggling. He had 45 people reporting directly to him. Can you imagine how much he was dealing with on a day-to-day basis? It took me about 4 minutes to figure that one out. So, John, tell me, what does your day look like? And as I sat in his office, I was in his office for just an hour. There was someone at that door about every 5 minutes needing something. I coached him to understand that, look, what you have here, you have great people, but you've got to unleash that energy. So we had to create the supervisory level. For the last 2.5 years, we've been training their supervisors. We've created a supervisory level. So now he has 7 people reporting to him. He's let go of all the little nitty-gritty things. He's now active in more of the strategic aspect of his business. And we're also training all the other workers on how to communicate with one another.